about to start week 4, so let's take some time and review everything that you've learned about essay writing so far in AE1. We began the term by talking about the types of essays there are in academic English classes. There are advantages and disadvantages, compare and contrast, cause and effect, problem solution, and then in AE3 you do the persuasive or the argumentation essay. In AE1, we focus on the advantage-disadvantage essay, and it's important to know how to develop ideas in each of the styles of essays, because future writing you do in credit courses will ask you to answer a question by discussing the advantages or disadvantages, or possibly by stating the causes or effects of something. So these rhetorical patterns help you to determine how you're going to organize your ideas in all kinds of writing that you do in our program, but also in programs that you might take in the future. So back in week 1, we looked at the different parts of an essay: the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. And each part of the essay has a specific purpose. The introduction has 3 parts, begins with a hook. This is an interesting statement or observation about the topic of the essay. And then the last sentence of the introduction is the thesis statement. And this states the controlling idea and the topic of the essay. The topic is what you're going to write about. So, for example, living in Calgary. And then the controlling idea is how you are going to write about it. And in our case, you're going to write about it by telling your reader about the advantages of living in Calgary, or maybe the disadvantages of living in Calgary. Remember that you only ever choose one controlling idea. An essay in AE1 will never be about both advantages and disadvantages. In between those 2 parts, the hook and the thesis statement, we have the bridge. The bridge is a sentence, or possibly 2, that connect the general idea that you start with in the hook and the specific idea that you finish with in the thesis statement. So your introduction will be a minimum of 3 sentences: hook, bridge, thesis statement, and a maximum of, let's say, 5. And as you develop your writing skills, your introductions will certainly get longer. Now that you've introduced your essay, next are the 3 body paragraphs that follow the pattern that you see in your outline template. And that pattern is topic sentence, point 1, support 1, support 2, point 2, support 1, support 2. You will have 3 body paragraphs in your essay, and each body paragraph will have 7 sentences. As you begin writing essays in English, don't write more than 7 sentences. Keep your ideas focused and make effective use of sentence types to give your reader enough details so that you can understand why you believe your points are advantages or disadvantages. At the end of your essay, you have the conclusion, and it begins with a thesis restatement. You want to paraphrase here to avoid repeating exactly what your thesis was. So for example, if you had said, living in Calgary has many advantages, a restatement might be, there are several benefits to living in Calgary. The next sentence is a summary of the topic sentence ideas. So remember that it's important that you study and apply the rules of parallel structure here. And then finally, the last sentence of your essay provides a final reflection or opinion about your topic. So alongside the structure of the essay, we have also talked about the importance of the process of writing. So we have brainstorming, organizing the brainstorm and outlining, drafting, editing, redrafting, okay? And brainstorming is where you get the ideas to write. Outlining is where you organize those ideas, okay? And so here in the outline, this is where you decide what you are going to write. And here is where you make sure that all of your ideas are well developed and not off topic. An essay that has good organization and uses transitions effectively is one that has good cohesion. And an essay that has ideas that are well developed and not off topic and show how your ideas are either an advantage or disadvantage is one that demonstrates good coherence. Both of these are assessed in your writing exams. So whenever you write blogs, essays, critical thinking answers, you should be thinking about coherence and cohesion. All right, that was all in week 1. All right, on to week 2. So, in week 2, we practiced brainstorming and organizing ideas into an outline. As well, we looked at sentence types and why you want to make sure that topic and point sentences are simple sentences. Remember that your body paragraph is only about one idea. If we're writing about living in Calgary and we choose employment opportunities as the topic of the paragraph, then we can't write about education or access to fitness centers. You want to make sure that what you choose from the brainstorm is not too narrow of an idea. If you say that the advantage of living in Calgary is there are plenty of jobs in the oil sector, then you are limited now to only writing about the oil sector in the rest of this paragraph. So you want to make sure that you have enough information from your brainstorm and the outline to be able to develop on the topic idea that you choose. Supporting sentences need to be anything but simple, right? Those complex, compound complex sentences, those are the most suitable because it's often that the first part of your sentence is a fact and the second part or the second clause in your sentence tells the reader what the advantage or disadvantage is of the fact that you are stating. To see some examples of this, go to the essays in your course pack and read through those support sentences and look at how you can see that they are developed from fact into advantage or disadvantage. In this style of writing, many simple sentences are possible in the support, but you want to learn how to use more sophisticated grammar. And so using these longer sentences, you are able to show how or why your point is an advantage or disadvantage. Week 3. Wow, you have come a long way. You're starting to put it all together now in paragraphs and think about all of the concepts that go into writing in English. And alongside the parts of the essay, we've now talked about the need to avoid repetition in vocabulary. Remember that English hates unnecessary repetition. Okay? So use the vocabulary chart, the brainstorm chart, on page 77 in your course pack to help you with this. There's lots of good resources in that course pack. Another great one is on page 24. This talks about the ways to begin English sentences. Other good places to know include the sentence patterns for the thesis statement. You can find this one on page 54. As well, in the following pages, on page 56 and page 57, you'll find the same types of sentence pattern organizers for topic sentences. What you need to be able to do now is apply all of the information that you've learned in weeks 1, 2, and 3 to your writing. One of the tasks that we did that looked at the different parts of the essay in the body paragraphs in terms of the organizers, the addition, transitions, and sequencers, the variety of vocabulary that's used, as you can see here, the different ways that the writer has used synonyms and different phrases to express immigrants, as well as the connection of the ideas and making sure that your supporting sentences are those complex sentences so that we can go from fact to advantage. All of this is represented on this page in your course pack, and it's on page 65. So what you're doing here is learning how to use what's in your course pack to support your writing. If you use the resources well at the beginning part of this term, some parts of the essay writing, like a thesis statement or topic sentences or those transitions, will become automatic for you so that you can then focus on the more challenging aspects of your writing. So there really should be no reason to have a thesis statement or a topic sentence with word order, content, or grammar errors. So in the editing phase, if you see any problems with the thesis statement or topic sentence, now you know where you can go in your course pack to help solve that problem for yourself. Moving into week 4, you've already worked on pieces of an essay, sometimes in groups and sometimes on your own, either in class or for homework, on the advantages of owning a smartphone, or the exercise we did on being an immigrant in Canada. And so now I'm ready to have you begin the experience of the whole writing process on your own. So from brainstorming to outlining, drafting, editing, redrafting, and finally creating an essay that you're happy with. When you submit your outline for your essay, I should be able to look at that outline and kind of write the essay in my head as I read it. This means that there should be enough detail in your outline for me to see how you are going to connect the ideas in your topic sentences, points, and supports. I won't look at your essay until your outline is complete. A bad outline produces a bad essay. Your writing midterm is coming up in a few weeks, so really make sure that you are submitting writing so that you can get the feedback you need to learn and improve before your midterm exam. All right, now that you know all of the parts and where to find support material in your course pack, we will focus now on editing tasks and refining your writing skills. I will see you in class.